I have a classic Czech Pilsner. In America, it's called Czechvar. In Europe, it's called Budweiser Budvar because it's actually from Budweis in the Czech Republic. But they can't call it that here because there's Budweiser, even though that is not made in the town of Budweis. It was just kind of named after it randomly a long time ago. But it seems like we just got a very fresh shipment in. The best by date on this is July 28th next year. So I'm thinking that this is bottled July 28th of this year, which makes it, let's see, August, September, like 2.5 months old. Which is pretty good for something shipped all the way from the Czech Republic. And it's still in these green bottles, but I managed to get some that was not skunked at all, which is awesome. So the exact same ingredients as Pilsner Urquell, the ubiquitous Czech Pilsner you see in America everywhere. Apparently, the original one. But this one is more attenuated. It's 5% alcohol. Pilsner Urquell is 4.4, though they're both brewed to the same amount of fermentable sugars. They're both 12 Plato. So that's why Pilsner Urquell is a little bit maltier, a little bit sweeter. And I don't know how much decoction they do with this. And that also adds to some extra malt character. And so this is 5%. Moravian Pilsner malt. Zatz hops, and their special water, their very soft water that apparently that's what allowed them to make their beers so bitter and hoppy, because the soft water does not accentuate the bitterness like hard water does. And it looks just a little bit paler than Pilsner Urquell, which makes me think this is probably single or double decocted, but still decocted. That's when you boil the mash to get a little bit more color and malty flavor without having to use specialty malts and caramel malts or all that stuff. No Munich malters in this or anything. Just Pilsner, the palest of all the malts. And pretty active carb there. Big fluffy white head. I'm probably going to try to get some similarly fresh Czechvar and Urquell and do a side-by-side review soon. That'll be really fun. And this is very, very clear. Definitely, well, maybe not filters. There's some teeny, tiny little bitlets in there. Yeah, it's just an amazing aroma. Very slightly toasted malt. Toasty, slightly sweetened toasty cereal, like Kix or Smacks or something. Those Smacks are quite sweet. And just that unique, almost lemongrassy herbal thing happening. I love that. It smells just a teeny bit sweet, but not as much malt character as a Urquell. Definitely more than German Pilsners. Yep, and not a hint of skunk or anything. Pretty full mouthfeel. And a little bit soft too. And that head is sticking around really well. Even though this glass was not totally perfectly beer clean. And bubbles popping, but not like crazy. And just a little bit of a sweetness in the back end. I've been reading that Czech Pilsners can allow, or the style allows, a teeny bit of diacetyl, which is like fake butter flavor. And maybe that's just helping that lingering malt flavor to come out. I don't think you're actually supposed to smell a buttery quality, unlike some English ales that have that a little bit more, like the notorious ringwood yeast that Shipyard uses. And it's just a really complex beer because of those hints of toastiness and sweet maltiness, but not quite sweet enough to be an amber lager. Not super hoppy, but definitely a good amount of hop character. After a few swigs, it definitely finishes dry on your tongue. I don't want to say there's an apricot fruitiness, because that's more from ale yeast, but maybe it's that whisper of diacetyl in there in the finish. It just smells really, really good. If you want something that's just a little stronger, more attenuated, I don't know if it's necessarily more dry than Urquell, because I think they hop Urquell more, so it's higher in the IBUs. Yeah, got this crazy fresh. It doesn't have any old stale beer sort of things happening. It doesn't taste lifeless. Though I'm pretty sure it's pasteurized. And what's great about this and Pilsner Urquell is that they're really cheap. You can get a 6-pack of this for well under $10, which is why I'm going to get more. And same with Pilsner Urquell too, because these are probably dirt cheap in Czech Republic, where people drink more beer than anywhere else per capita. But they usually drink even lower alcohol pilsners that they don't send to America. But this is fantastic. This is like a 4.5 beer probably. Yeah, just perfectly balanced, but it's the original beer. I guess a lot of people, this would maybe be more comparable to Budweiser, but Budweiser is still paler. There's not anything that's quite close to this. Maybe Narragansett is kind of close, but American malts and things are very different. But very, very highly recommended. You can find this somewhere where it's not been sitting in the sun, near the sunlight. Get it soon. It's very worth it, and not a lot of breweries in America are making stuff like this, especially not making them really well. That's it. Bye bye.